Everyone wants to be the next Airbnb or Grab or ChatGPT. But in actual fact, 90% of startups fail.
They say failure is the stepping stone to success. I think in startups, failure seems to be the stepping stone to more failure.
My company is called EtherChain. We are trying to get the sum total of all human memories to be captured in the form of non-fungible tokens. Imagine being able to see through the eyes of Rafael Nadal just as he hits the winning shot at the French Open.
You have Rafael Nadal's memory?
I asked you to imagine it. We don't have it yet.
Oh.
The traditional model was first you make money, you list, and you then acquire. You're saying get listed, acquire, and then make money.
Making money, that's not the goal over here. How will you increase your valuation if you start making money?
Hello, viewers and listeners. Welcome to another episode of Jest Business podcast.
If you find the podcast funny, which we hope you do, you must know that Rahul and I conduct workshops on humor for leaders. So you too can learn to be funny and that makes you more effective at work. To find out more, write to us at justbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. This podcast is being sponsored by Coromandel Productions. The folks at Coromandel aim to showcase human interest and heartwarming stories from all walks of life. They do this through short films, documentaries, sports television, corporate films, feature-based content, and promotional videos. Coromandel Productions is headquartered in Singapore and has offices in India and the UK. So if you're looking for high-quality professional videos, you know where to go.
My question to you, Paddy, is what fun/funny activities have you planned for today?
I thought we would explore the world of startups because it's amazing absurdities go on in this world. And, from people I know, Rahul, I think they fall into broadly two categories. Starting a startup or wishing they had started a startup. Or everyone wants to be the next Airbnb or Grab or ChatGPT. But in actual fact, 90% of startups fail.
They say failure is the stepping stone to success. I mean, when I say they, it was a philosopher. But stone philosophers aside, I think in startups, failure seems to be the stepping stone to more failure.
I agree with you. Millions start, but I think when most of them don't go up, they should be called start downs.
Correct.
Anyway, so today on that note, we thought viewers that we would explore the topic of startups. And since Rahul and I are not experts in this field, we thought we would invite a guest. And secondly, we also thought, even though we are both handsome, funny, charismatic, and on the whole, absolutely irresistible, it would be good to have some variety on the show.
All of us have heard about the surreal entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs who make $1 billion in 3 years. And on the other hand, you have the serial entrepreneurs who make $3 in a billion years and are still at it. Somewhere in between is the proper entrepreneur. So Amit is actually representative of that entrepreneur. He was a former head of business at Grab/Uber, where he drove the business, not the cars. And now he runs his own podcasting agency, which actually is also responsible for our podcast. So if we look smart, intelligent, it's all credit to Amit. And Paddy, I was wondering, if he makes us sound and feel look like Socrates, can you imagine what he would have done to Socrates on his podcast?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was give a brief background of Amit, but a slight catch. Today, we are not welcoming Amit as Amit.
Yes, because, we wanted somebody larger than life. And Amit is just as large as life. We wanted somebody larger. So he is going to play the role of a serial entrepreneur, Samrat Chakravarti, who is the CEO and the founder of EtherChain.
So without any more preamble or ramble from Paddy, let's welcome Samrat Chakravarti to the show. Thanks for, kind of spending some time for us. But before we start, just a question. Are you feeling cold? Because we are in Singapore and you're still wearing the hoodie.
I would say the question is, why are you not wearing a hoodie? You guys are running a workshop, like a startup of your own. Don't you know this is startup uniform? And also turtlenecks. In fact, I used to wear turtlenecks, because of Steve Jobs, but then I had to stop wearing them because of Elizabeth Holmes. In fact, the unfortunate thing is that I'm only in a hoodie. This is me being like hacker Zuck. Before Zuck became a multi-billionaire when he was a mere billionaire. I'm waiting to become baller Zuck, like with chain, curly hair, all of that stuff. But I have to wait for a bit for that because honestly, my Gemini thing has to go through, and once that happens, then I'm going to be baller Zuck.
Amazing.
So yes, we heard that you made an offer for acquiring Gemini at 100 billion. And what is your valuation of your EtherChain right now?
I guess like 100 million. Not that money matters, but yeah, it's
How does it work? It's this logic of acquiring something that is so gigantic?
Yeah, actually, I'm working on it right now. So have you heard of something called a SPAC?
No.
The thing that you put in pieces of bread before you eat it for breakfast?
Or some of these, drug addicts put before they imbibe? Smack? No.
So a SPAC is a listed company that is looking for investment. Okay. So it's a funding vehicle that is looking for companies to invest in high quality, excellent businesses, which they can then take public. Businesses like mine. And so I'm planning to merge with a SPAC. In fact, I've got a few offers right now. There's this ex-Facebook guy. There's a tennis star. There's that guy who's famous for showing up at other people's weddings. There's also a bunch of crypto people. Before you ask, I can't name any of them. It's extremely confidential. But if you were in the startup world, you'd probably guess who any of them are.
Interesting. The traditional model which I and Paddy knew was first you make money, you list, and you then acquire. But if I understood you correctly, and I'm not sure I have, you're saying get listed, acquire, and then make money.
Yeah, why would you do it any other way? Getting listed is the goal of every startup. So why wait till that happens? Just start by getting listed. That's what a SPAC is for. I think you also mentioned something about making money. That's not the goal over here.
That's not?
That's not at all. The moment you make money, then all these accountants come in and they talk about like PAT and making price to earnings ratios and all of that.
And that's a bad thing?
Yeah, the only thing it can do is drop my valuation. If we focus on mundane things like making money today, how are we going to achieve our purpose? We are not a company that's just trying to build some sort of a business like everybody else. We are building purpose. We are looking for immortality. That's what we're aiming for. And we should be valued based on achieving immortality.
A little bit about your company. What do you do?
My company is called EtherChain. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to get the sum total of all human memories to be captured in high fidelity in the form of non-fungible tokens. People will be able to access those memories and pay us for that. And this will allow them to experience the memories of those people as if they were there. So for example, imagine if being able to see through the eyes of Rafael Nadal just as he hits the winning shot at the French Open.
I didn't understand much of what you said, but I'm a big tennis fan and he's my hero. You have Rafael Nadal's memory. Can you show it to me? Is it on that iPad? Then I'd love to see it.
Calm down. I asked you to imagine it. We don't have it yet. We are right now at MVP stage. What we have are first-person videos of my son hitting the winning shot in his tournament recently.
Okay.
And in fact, he shot it on his Meta Ray-Bans and it is viewable on the Meta Quest.
Sounds like you're building something in Meta's walled garden.
You've kind of got it. So we are trying to build a walled garden. Okay. In fact, that is something that got our investors most excited. So we have this MVP. You have the video is accessible via a particular platform. Happens to be on Meta right now. But soon, once we have acquired Gemini and we have moved to the next phase of our business model, all of this will be on our own walled garden. And we will have our own memories being stored on our own servers, and they will be accessible via our own VR headset, which we call the immersion pod.
No, but somehow there seems to be a lot of ifs and a few buts on this route that you're describing, or am I wrong?
You're very wrong, Paddy. It's just a few steps. So first, SPAC. We get acquired by the SPAC, then we have plenty of money. Then we go and acquire Gemini. Anyway, Gemini is only trying to do some AI and stuff like that. Some purpose, not enough. But we are building immortality. Gemini as a tool is better off with us. Once we have Gemini, then we go and acquire Apple's Vision Pro headset. Because once we have that, then we have all the pieces. And frankly, Apple Pro is really not doing much in their ecosystem. Nobody uses it. But in ours, they'll be able to access the memories of everyone. And so once we have all of these pieces together, the MVP will suddenly accelerate and become reality.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't understand that, but don't you think you're thinking a bit too big?
You are thinking too small, guys. You have to think bigger. Just manifest. Manifest. That's the word, actually. Like, for example, what are some of the biggest achievements that you have made in life?
Me?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, let me think. Okay, recently I became a grandfather 2 times within a period of 5 months. But then if you really look at it, my role in that achievement was minimal. So maybe I should cite something. Maybe let's say work related. Okay, when I was handling McCafe for the region, I spearheaded the change of the packaging cup, from brown to yellow. It uplifted the brand image. It got more customers interested.
Wait. Your whole achievement is to change the color of a cup.
Yes. But not just change, dramatically transform, or is the word we use in
Proud of you,
McDonald's.
Paddy, proud of you. However, we are looking at longevity itself. We are trying to make people immortal. Color of a cup, nice to have, but I feel like what we are doing is a cut above. And that's why you need to think much bigger.
But coming back to original idea, tell me, because since you mentioned name, will you actually get Rafael Nadal to sign up?
We haven't got him yet, but we will. And it's pretty simple. How much does someone pay Rafael Nadal to shoot a 30-second ad?
I don't know, maybe millions?
Yeah, maybe millions, yeah.
Yeah, we need a 30-second memory. We'll pay him millions as well.
That's impressive, but that sounds quite expensive, no? For a 30-second memory?
See, then again, you're again thinking small. We can pay how much ever we want for a memory. Because think of how many people want to access that memory. We're going to acquire it once, but we're going to sell it millions of times. Every memory is going to be hugely profitable for us.
I mean, I can't really say I'm not a tennis player, but I don't know, Paddy, how much would you pay for this?
I mean, once they get Nadal's memory, maybe we can talk. I may not pay much for your son's forehand memory, but how long? So in 10, 15 years, you'll come back to me with Nadal's memory, or what's your horizon?
We'll have it very, very soon. And in fact, we have a lot of surveys that show us that people are willing to pay for these memories.
How much?
But for now, based on your research, since you have survey, how much do you think people are willing to pay for this memory?
In fact, this survey that we did literally just the last week, it says that people will pay up to $2.99 per view. And if we sell it as packs of 20, $1.99.
Oh, wow.
Samrat, that's like the price, if I'm not mistaken, of a McCafe, right? And Paddy, I'm sure you will kind of confirm a cup of McCafe maybe
$3
consumes only $3 and consumes only maybe a few cents worth of coffee beans. But you are spending a few $1 million. How will you make money?
You're missing the point. This is about bits over atoms. 1 cup of McCafe will serve only one person.
Yes.
But this one memory will serve millions of people.
Yeah, I mean, 1 cup of McCafe will serve only one person. Amit, that's true, because it's not very hygienic to serve the same cup to the other fellow. But in a day, McCafe cups serve about 4 million customers across the world. So in that sense, there is a scale there. What do you hope to, in terms of how do you make money with paying millions and charging $3?
So just imagine your own memory. Okay. So the moment when you discovered that you can change the color of the cup to yellow, and to that exact shade of yellow, which apparently is your life's achievement.
Yes.
Imagine that memory now being used to train thousands of other future McDonald's managers to become just as boring, routine, and inconsequential people as yourself. So just take that into account and imagine the potential of this whole thing.
No, but if somebody wanted to learn from me how they would change, the brand image of McCafe, what I did, they could just invite me for a cup of coffee. I'd happily share it with them.
See, that is exactly what we're disrupting. If they sit down with you over a cup of coffee, you'll just babble everything that you know. But why not monetize each particular thing?
Oh.
So why give away all your secrets in one sitting just for a few bucks over coffee? We are disaggregating your memories. So
Also
people
changing the color of the cup could be one memory,
Yeah.
increasing the size of the cup could be another memory.
Yeah.
And selling it
Exactly.
in new
So-
stores could be another memory.
Yes. So each of those will be sold separately. In fact, memories of you wooing your wife and then people learning how that happens, potentially not as valuable.
But Samrat, coming to the technical challenges of everything you're doing, I mean, what about sheer technical infrastructure requirements? For example, server space required. Even I think for just one person, I can imagine if you're going to digitize his lifetime's memories, it must be astronomical. Does it?
Astronomical is actually just a start.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's one person, according to our calculation, their useful memories are a few petabytes of storage. And we want to digitize the whole world's memories. That is, let's say 10 billion people by the time we are done with all of this. So that is going to add up to 20,000 zettabytes of storage.
And today, how many zettabytes are there available?
Is there
today?
enough storage available?
Well, all of the world's data for all time, I believe, adds up to 150 zettabytes. But
You alone will require much more than that.
yeah, but see, in the startup world, Moore's law, every 18 months, things are going to double. And in fact, in today's world with AI and all of this stuff, we believe people will build this infrastructure.
And if there's not enough server space on the world, you can build on Mars also, because by then Mars might be habitable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is for someone else to figure out. See, don't skate to where the puck is. Skate to where it's going to be. So we are skating to where that puck is going to go.
So let me see if I understand this right. Your entire fantasy or this fantastic idea, sorry, I correct myself, this fantastic idea depends on the availability of technology and space which doesn't exist yet, but you're sure will be created by someone else to make your business plan possible.
And it'll be created by someone else because your business plan will make it necessary to create it.
Exactly. It's like so many things build around an ecosystem, right? So we are at the center of this ecosystem, people will build it. I mean, look at the .com era. People built all the telecom and servers and all that were needed. Other people are riding on that. We expect to do the same.
Okay, but then coming to the actual scale of the operations, how many users have you actually onboarded on your Ethernet?
Right now, we are at MVP stage. So frankly, no users. But we have just opened a waitlist and we have thousands of people who have signed up. This really proves the value of our model.
You have thousands of people signing up on your platform.
Yes.
Wow. And
How did
you do
How
it?
to get them to sign up?
We are paying $100,000 per memory.
Oh, 100,000 per memory and thousands of people. So if I do the maths, that's like millions of dollars. And then you're going to sell each memory for $3. It's like I buy a case of tennis balls and I buy it for $10,000 and then I sell each ball for 10 cents. It's something like that. It doesn't make sense.
The only thing that you said over here that makes sense is that you need balls. You cannot apply brick and mortar logic to this whole world. We are not in a straight line economy. Think J curves, exponential growth. That's the way to think about this. So in fact, if you look at how any famous startup has any unicorn that you look at right now, they start out by making losses. Losses are not only accepted, they're actually desirable.
Oh, is it?
Yes. If there were no losses, what would VCs fund? They wouldn't exist. And in fact, having losses shows that you're building something so disruptive that people simply don't understand it.
And then the corollary would be the bigger the losses, the more disruptive you are.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I would say is don't get stuck in this world of accountants with this PAT, profit after tax and EBITDA and things like that.
No?
Yeah, all these metrics and measures, all these accounting things, these are from the Industrial Revolution. All this generally accepted accounting principles. What is this general acceptance? Every business should have its own accounting standard that is tailored to what that business actually does. I feel like there's a fundamental flaw in the world today, and it's something that we definitely want to change, and other visionaries have tried to change in the past, oftentimes with not so great consequences. But that I feel is a failure of the system, not a failure of the founder. So in fact, in our case, we have come up with this EBITDA adjusted metric that we believe describes our business best. It is in fact this thing that we call mortality adjusted EBITDA. Or if to make it easy for you, it's EBITDA.
EBITDA.
We are, of course, a highly profitable business by this EBITDA metric, because this mortality
You
adjustment.
just remove all the costs, and what is
Yeah,
left is...
we don't remove all the costs. That would be fraud. We remove the cost that should be removed. For example, the cost of acquiring memories. Now, that happens to be 99% of our costs. So, when we remove it, we become extremely profitable. But it is something that makes a lot of sense. In fact, on this EBITDA adjusted basis, we may actually be the most profitable company on planet Earth as of today. There are many, many founders who have come to me trying to figure out how they can best apply these kinds of adjustments to their businesses as well.
I think what he's in short trying to say, the rules should not apply to us because we are rewriting the rules.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And unless you rewrite the rules, how will you progress in life?
But what's your strategy for hiring? Let's put it this way, because you'll still need people, right? Can't be a one-man show.
I think for every founder, that is the most important thing. How do you get excellent people? So the way that we look at it is we are building an extremely disruptive business. So we cannot hire anybody with any experience or frankly, even any expertise. Because think of it, what does experience and expertise give you? It just puts you in a box. You can only operate within the bounds of what you know or what you believe to be right or what you've seen to be done and things like that. We don't want people like that.
You want people to do what they don't know.
In our case, that means they can do many things because they know almost nothing.
Correct. So the more clueless, the better.
Clueless, you're using the wrong word. I prefer to think of it as the more open-minded, the better.
Coming to you personally, are you also a college dropout?
I was very inspired by college dropouts, but then I figured, again, if I follow people like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, I'm just following someone. So therefore, I decided to skip the whole thing altogether and just not even apply to go to college.
Oh. And how about remuneration? How do you pay these guys?
We are trying to build a unique culture. So in that unique culture, who am I to value another human being? It feels almost like some sort of ownership or something, like I'm giving this person so much money because I value them so much and that much I'm valuing them all differently. Mm-hmm. That feels wrong to me. So therefore we decided to do away with this whole archaic concept of salary.
So don't pay them at all.
Yeah, not in money. People feel so much better when I'm valuing them for themselves. Instead, what we do is we offer them healthy share options, and once our company hits a certain valuation threshold, every one of them, I believe, will be a millionaire.
But the problem with that, Samrat, is if your company succeeds. No, sorry. What I meant is when your company succeeds, they will have the money. But till then, they do need to live, and they can't live on memories alone, even if it is Nadal's memory and you acquired it by then. So how will they manage food, clothing, rent?
I take a bit of objection to not living on memories alone because, frankly, think of the high class existence that you're leading, seeing through somebody's eyes. It's almost like today you're a Nobel laureate, tomorrow you're a star tennis player.
Your desire for food and rent and all
comes down.
Yeah,
like you have self-actualized, which is what we're hoping for. But beyond that also, we have a tie-up now with almost every one of the delivery companies, depending on where the person is situated, where these people can get fast-track acceptance into becoming a delivery partner, and they are able to then earn money by delivering food on those respective platforms. In fact, the particular deal that we struck was that these people will be offered the midnight to 6 a.m. shift, which is when the earnings are highest, because that's when there are fewest people, delivery partners available to do this.
The rate per hour is very high because I happen to have worked in that in the night time, but that's also because the number of deliveries are lower.
But that gives them time in between deliveries to think about
the business.
Yes, exactly. Remember, they're part owners.
This is actually a very different radical view. It's almost a different level of hierarchy compared to, Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah. I would call it as slow hierarchy. But Samrat, there's one thing we haven't also asked you. I know you have the reputation of being a marketing genius, and you hardly spend anything on marketing. Yet the world knows about you and also EtherChain. How do you do it?
I don't know if you'd call it genius. Yes, I think we should call it genius.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
I give my views authentic, unfiltered on X. People don't want all these branded posts and
corporate
kind of things.
communications
Yeah,
and all
corporate
that.
communication, all of that. They want to see what the founder has to say. They want the open, unvarnished truth. They want opinions. And I'm happy to give that to them. For example, the other day, somebody said something about, I wrote my business model on a napkin, and he took a photograph of it. And I replied to him saying, if your business model takes a whole napkin to write, it's a waste of paper. If it takes you more than 3 words to write any thought, that thought is too complex.
Wow.
You must not think in anything more than 3 words at a time.
Caesar, Veni, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered.
Exactly.
So
and look at where Caesar went.
Absolutely.
Versus look at all these people thinking in paragraphs and blogs and
oh
books
my
and all of that. Where are they?
But when I last checked Samrat, I found that a lot of hate targeted towards you. And all this coming from academics, scientists, doctors, CEOs, anyone, in fact, with an education seemed to think very poorly of you.
These are the elites. I don't pander to these people. They are stuck in this whole box thing which we want to break out of. Facts, reality, science.
Logic.
What are all of logic? All of these things change. We should look at our truth. So everything is based on your opinion, your interpretation of it, because that is your lived experience. So there is no such thing as objective facts and stuff like that. Everything is an illusion. We should learn to break out of that and think independently and live our own lives. And that is what these people are fighting against, which is something that I do not wish to kind of engage in. What I do wish to engage in is in sharing opinions on X.
It's been very inspiring to listen to you. It's very interesting. I think we learned a lot. We learned a lot about what we don't know about the startup world. With that, thank you very much, Samrat, for joining us, and have a great day. And we wish you all success in your startup.
Thank you. And I hope you learned something from this.
Absolutely.
I look forward to seeing your J-curve growth as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Samrat.
So, Rahul, that was interesting.
Yeah, let's call it interesting.
Interesting. One thing I learned is, in the beginning, we were discussing 90% of startups fail. After hearing Samrat, I think I understand why they fail.
In fact, I would say why the other 10% succeed should be the bigger question. But this also explains, obviously, now why, despite the number of startups, there is hope springs eternal, because there are always many Samrats in the world who think differently. Let's call it that way. But then I think, and Paddy, on that crazy note, let's round off the episode for today.
Let's do that. And we, as usual, if you like the podcast, please write to us at justbusinesspodcast@gmail.com and tell us what you think about this episode. And please give us ideas for other absurdities in the business that you have encountered. And on that topic, if you find the podcast funny, which we hope you do, you must know that Rahul and I conduct workshops on humor for leaders. So you too can learn to be funny, and that makes you more effective at work. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.